Lying in bed at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you could survive financially if your car decided to transform into an expensive pile of metal tomorrow? Or maybe you're the type who breaks out in a cold sweat every time you hear a weird noise coming from your refrigerator, knowing that repair bills have a magical ability to appear at the worst possible moments. Either way, you've probably asked yourself the same question that keeps millions of people awake at night. Exactly how much emergency cash do I actually need to have saved? Well, here's something that might shock you. The answer isn't what most financial experts have been telling you for decades. And the reality of what the average person actually has saved versus what they need might make you feel either incredibly relieved or completely terrified about your own situation. This is another great reason to stay subscribed to the channel. I spend way too much time researching personal finance statistics and figuring out why most financial advice sounds great in theory, but falls apart the moment real life decides to throw a curveball. If you want to understand what emergency fund numbers actually make sense instead of just following outdated rules, make sure to subscribe. And hit that like button if this helps you sleep better at night. Now, before we dive into the real numbers, let me tell you something that most financial advisors don't want you to know. They've been recommending the same emergency fund formula for over 30 years, regardless of whether you're a 22-year-old living with roommates or a 45-year-old supporting a family of 5. It's like prescribing the same medication for every patient. Sure, it might work for some, but it's definitely not optimal for everyone. The traditional advice you've heard 1,000 times goes something like this: save 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a readily accessible savings account. Boom, problem solved. Pack it up, everyone. We've figured out personal finance. Except here's the thing that makes this advice almost useless for most people. What exactly counts as living expenses? Are we talking about your current lifestyle, where you're ordering takeout 3 times a week and paying for 7 different streaming services? Or are we talking about bare-bones survival mode, where you're eating rice and beans while canceling every subscription that isn't absolutely essential? This distinction matters more than you might think, because the difference between these two approaches could literally be thousands of dollars. For someone already struggling to save, being told they need to save 6 months of their current spending might feel so overwhelming that they don't even bother starting. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this will probably surprise you. Recent research has discovered that having just $2,000 in emergency savings can be as powerful for your financial well-being as having $1 million in assets. We'll explore exactly why that is and how you can apply this to your own life in just a moment. How would you feel if I told you that saving just $500 could be the single most important financial move you make this year? I know, that sounds absolutely insane, but let me explain why it makes perfect sense. Think about the last time you had an unexpected expense pop up. Maybe your phone screen cracked, you needed new tires, or you had to take your pet to the vet. How much stress did that cause you? Not just financial stress, but the mental energy you spent worrying about how you were going to pay for it. Now imagine having $2,000 sitting in a savings account just for situations like this. Suddenly, that broken phone becomes an inconvenience, not a financial crisis. Those new tires are a routine purchase, not a reason to lose sleep. This is why even a small emergency fund has such a massive impact on your peace of mind. But let's get brutally honest about where most people actually stand. According to recent surveys, only 44% of Americans could cover a $1,000 emergency with their savings. Let that sink in. We're not talking about 6 months of expenses. We're talking about a single unexpected bill. It gets even more concerning. 42% of Americans have no emergency fund at all. 0. And for those who do, the median amount is just $500. Meanwhile, financial experts are telling everyone they need to save tens of thousands of dollars. Can you see the disconnect? It's like telling someone who's never run a day in their life to prepare for a marathon. The advice isn't wrong, but it's so far removed from reality that it becomes completely unhelpful. This is why understanding what you actually need is so important. The amount you need depends heavily on your specific life circumstances. Are you single with no dependents? living in an affordable area with a stable job? Your needs are completely different from someone who's self-employed, supporting a family, and living in an expensive city. Are you 25 with parents who could help in a crisis? Your situation is vastly different from someone who's 45, with aging parents who might need financial assistance themselves. But most financial advice treats everyone exactly the same. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses, end of story. That's not how real life works. Let me break down what realistic planning looks like. If you have no one depending on you financially and a job that's easy to replace, you can probably aim for 3 months of essential expenses. Notice I said essential. We're talking about rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, and minimum debt payments, not your gym membership or Netflix subscription. If your essential monthly expenses are $2,000, you're looking at a $6,000 goal, still significant, but much more manageable. Now, if you have a family, your income fluctuates, or your job is specialized, and might take longer to replace, you're probably looking at 6 to 9 months of essential expenses. And if you earn over $100,000, you might need even more, because higher income jobs often take longer to replace. But here's something that will challenge everything you think you know. Starting with any amount, even just $500, provides real benefits. That $500 represents something more valuable than its face value. It represents options. It's the ability to handle small emergencies without going into debt. It's not having to choose between paying your electric bill and fixing your car. And psychologically, it's proof that you can save money, which builds the confidence you need to save even more. This is why the all-or-nothing approach is so destructive. When people hear they need $15,000, many never even start. They figure, if I can't do it perfectly, why bother? That's like saying you shouldn't exercise unless you can run a 5-minute mile. It's completely counterproductive. The truth is, your emergency fund should grow with you. Start small, build momentum, and watch your financial security and your peace of mind grow along the way. Let's start with the most common excuse. I can't afford to save. What if I told you to start with just $25 a week? I know it sounds tiny, right? But that's $300 a year. Think about how many surprise bills that could cover. A new set of tires? A plumbing issue? That's what $300 can handle. But here's where so many people get it wrong, and it drives me crazy. They save up a few $100s and then, boom, an emergency hits. They use the money, and instead of feeling proud they were prepared, they get discouraged and give up. They think their emergency fund failed because they had to use it. Listen to me, your emergency fund didn't fail, it succeeded. It did exactly what it was designed to do. That's not a failure. That's the system working perfectly. The real mistake is not starting to rebuild it right away. It's like car insurance. You don't cancel your policy just because it paid for an accident, do you? Your emergency fund is your financial insurance. Now let's blow up another myth, where you should keep this money. The so-called experts tell you to stick it all in a savings account, earning next to nothing. Their logic, you need instant access, but think about it. How many emergencies truly require a wad of cash within 24 hours? Most can be put on a credit card first, which gives you weeks to get the cash. This means you don't have to let your entire emergency fund get eaten away by inflation. I'm not saying to gamble it on stocks, but consider high-yield savings accounts, money market accounts, or short-term CDs. Maybe keep 1 month's worth of expenses in your regular savings for instant access, and let the rest actually work for you, earning higher interest while still being available within a few days. Here's another thing most advice ignores: your personal situation. Your emergency fund needs are unique. If you have a great credit score and can get a low-interest loan in a pinch, you might not need as much cash saved as someone who'd be forced to use high-interest credit cards. If you have family who could support you in a true crisis, your needs are different. This isn't about planning to be a burden. It's about being realistic. You can factor in these backups so you are not oversaving in a zero-interest account while you still have high-interest debt you should be attacking. And speaking of debt, here's a hot take. If you have high-interest debt like credit card debt, building a huge emergency fund might be a mistake. Do the math. If your credit card charges you 20% interest and your savings account earns you 1%, you are actively losing 19% on that money. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a giant hole in it. A smarter move? Build a small buffer, say $1,000, for tiny emergencies. Then throw every extra dollar you have at that high-interest debt. Once that debt is gone, you can go full force on building your 3 to 6 month emergency fund without working against yourself. Finally, let's get real about what an emergency usually is. We're all told to save for 6 months of living expenses. Let's rethink this whole emergency fund thing. Instead of one massive, intimidating goal, what about a tiered approach? Think of it like levels in a video game. Level 1, your Oops Fund. Maybe $1,000 or $2,000 set aside for those annoying life moments. The car repair that pops up out of nowhere, the unexpected trip to the doctor. Just having this small buffer means a small problem doesn't turn into a financial crisis. You can finally sleep at night knowing you're covered for life's little curveballs. Once you've conquered level 1, you move to level 2, the Serious Setback Fund. This is a bigger pot, maybe around $5,000, for more significant issues like a major appliance dying or a larger unexpected bill. Then you can think about level 3, the Life-Changing Event Fund. This is the big one, your income replacement fund for a job loss. Breaking it down like this makes saving feel achievable. Each milestone you hit actually improves your financial security right then and there. You don't have to wait until you hit some magical far-off number to feel the benefits. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Inflation. The cost of everything has gone absolutely wild. That $500 car repair from a few years ago, it's easily $1,000 now. Your grocery bill, it's probably gone up by 50%. This means the emergency fund you calculated 2 years ago is already outdated. Inflation is silently eating away at your safety net, and most people never stop to recalculate. They set it and forget it, not realizing their financial cushion is getting thinner every single day. And here's the really frustrating part. While the cost of emergencies is soaring, our wages haven't kept up. And those high-yield savings accounts, even with recent rate hikes, they're barely treading water against inflation. So you need more money than ever, but it's harder to save, and the money you do save is losing its buying power. This is why the old-school advice to just dump all your emergency savings into a basic account does not make sense anymore. It's like trying to run up a down escalator. But here's a reality check that might change your perspective entirely. The catastrophic 6-month end-of-the-world emergency that financial gurus scare you with? It's actually pretty rare for most people. Job loss happens, but unemployment benefits can help bridge the gap. Major health crises are terrifying, but good insurance covers a lot of the cost. The truth is, we spend years sacrificing, saving for these incredibly unlikely scenarios, while potentially missing out on paying down debt or investing for our future. It might actually be making us financially worse off in the long run. This doesn't mean you shouldn't prepare. It means you should prepare proportionally. Your personal situation matters. Are you in a stable job with great benefits? Your needs are different from a freelance artist in a volatile market. And let's be honest, the people dishing out this one-size-fits-all advice often have a team of financial pros and multiple income streams. It's like taking driving lessons from someone who's never been behind the wheel because they have a personal chauffeur. So, let's sum it up. Your emergency fund doesn't need to be an impossible fortress of cash. Start small. $1,000 or $2,000 can radically reduce your financial stress. Build a plan that fits your life, not some cookie-cutter formula. Stop letting the idea of a perfect emergency fund paralyze you, and just start building a good enough one today. Your future self will thank you when life inevitably gets expensive. Thanks for watching. And if you found this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more real-world financial advice.